Hello everyone. I know it's been a while since I've done a video and I'm gonna be honest, I have been lazy. so but I did want to kind of review. I did make I think 2 trades since the last video. And I'll go over those trades. But I think the last thing I was talking about was Bitcoin. Kind of, I was hoping for it to go down, and actually did what I thought it would probably do. And so, if you're looking at the screen, if you look at right here, going across this support area, it finally hit that, which is between 90 and excuse me, between 90 and 85,000. This blue lower trend line, which is, if we look from the daily standpoint, is like the lower one of the lower trend lines for the chart. If it comes out of here, this is another trend line for the chart overall for Bitcoin. So I don't know if it'll drop to that level. But all you have to do is just let it hit a certain area and see if it's going to make a bounce, or is it going to go through that support area, right? Is it going to bounce above that support area, or is it going to go below? So that's the way it works, right? So I'm suspecting it. I don't know if it'll bounce out of this support area, bounce inside of the support area, or come down to this level right here at the 38% level on the fib, which is around 80,000, right? So you can basically just set alerts. That's what I do, is just set alerts and just see if but when I do set alerts, I kind of set it probably like on the hourly chart, right? Go to the hourly and then like set alert right above the see if there is a breaker structure right here where the last peak was, and then below where it's at right now. Or you could set an alert right there at the 38. I think I got it right above the 38% level on the fib. And that's it pretty much for Bitcoin. If it were to bounce, which I don't know, I'm really thinking it could possibly make it all the way down to here. I'm not saying that it will, but or it could come to this 38%, which is coming. I mean, I got this trend line right here. It's kind of been obeying that, so it could hit here and then try to make its way up. But we'll see, right? So I just like to take it step by step. So let me go over the 2 trades that I did. I used another coin to make these 2 trades. It's called LCX, and the way I found this coin, it was on my list of coins to watch out for, right? And what I do is, when we having like red days, if I see anything that's like still in green, I pay attention to it. And so this was one of the coins that was, when we was having a red day, overall in the market, it was still remaining green. So, and it's LCX. Where is it? Oh my god, here it is. All right, so it's making its way back down now, but these are the 2 areas. It bounced off of this support area. I was able to get in and go up to here, which was along this trend line at the 61% level, right in here, and that was about 24%. It bounced down off of that trend line right here, and I got back in when it bounced above that 50% and up to that lower portion of this resistance area up here, which was 18%. So that is how I got into those. I am kind of hoping that this, I'm kind of watching it as it's come to this support level, but I'm thinking it's probably going to make its way down to here. Usually this is where you get the most bang for your buck, when it hits this lower trend line. But I want to still make sure it's not going to come out of it, right? So just because it hits it doesn't mean that it's going to immediately go up. So you still have to wait for a bounce, right? So like if you look at the last time it did this, so it hit this blue area and it took a while for it to go out of pump out of that area. So it made a couple bounce, right? It came up, went up again, and then it made its way back down, right? So this was really like the this right here was really like what I would have done right here is had like a little not in blue, but like a little minor trend line to see if it's going to fall out of there, right? I probably would have came in if I was, go back in time, right? I would have probably came in if I saw it was not going to drop out of there, and then probably would have did a little fib, like from this peak up here to the bottom, right? And where's the 38% level? Right? And I probably, of course, would have went down to a lower time frame to see when we're going to come out, but I'm not going to do it because it is going to be so far back. And then probably put a stop below. It probably would have been a stop a little bit higher, right up here or somewhere. And then saw that it came back down again, but it was a higher low. I would have probably came back in again. Did the same thing all over again. Had a, parallel trend line, right? And like this, right? So I can get rid of this. And I would have done another fib where it went from here to here. It bounced off of the 61% level pretty much, and then it didn't come off of this trend line, right? I would have stayed in, and then you just would have basically saw that it was like going to a major resistance area, and just would have tracked it with alerts, right? Because this didn't happen. It didn't happen in one day, right? Like it took, like, let's say you came in here, it took 11 days, right? But it would have been worth, almost 300%, right? In 11 days. So like, yeah. So that's the way you have to play it. I do have the rule, the thing of my target is 5% per day. It doesn't mean that I'm a trade every day, but that means 5% times 7 days, that's 35%. So I want to at least get 35% per week, right? And sometimes that might not happen in a week, which means if it goes into the second week, then I'm going to multiply the number of days it took for the next trade to happen, and if we still meet our target, right? If it happened instead of 7 days, let's say 11 days, 11 times 5 is 55%, right? Of course, in 11 days, if you hit 273%, you definitely well past that target of 5% per day, right? So that's the way I play it. But the 5% is just kind of like a guide. Am I like doing well or not, right? Overall. And if I were to go to the sheet of my tracker, which I think we're doing very well. Those 2 trades, where is it at? Here we go. Those 2 trades brought us up to 2,400, right? And so basically from $121, the beginning of January, I got all right, so I kind of hid, so I won't have to scroll so much. We started at $121. Here we are in February. We're up to 24. We're still not going to take, the goal is not to touch this until it reaches a point where you can pay yourself a salary. And whatever that salary you choose to be, I choose it to be at least 6-figure salary. That's why I said the 100 to 100K challenge. So the 100K, like to get me at 100,000, I mean, I would say at least 8 to 9,000 in the trading account, maybe a little bit more as the buffer for any potential little minor losses, right? And to think about, also remember you got to pay taxes on this stuff too. So, and I'll go I'm not going to go over taxes because I think you need to have a tax accountant, and I don't know if you have an LLC or some type of corporation set up for yourself, or are you just doing, like off of your social security number, right? I would advise, if you are making as a self-employed person over 50K, I would definitely be for sure doing this as some type of LLC, potentially maybe in a corporation, so that you can get better tax benefits. But I'm gonna leave that to a tax professional for you to confide in, so that you can get the most accurate accurate information for your particular situation. So, but that is my goal. My goal is to reach it to at least 10 to 15,000, and then that's when I can start between 9 to 10, up max 15,000. Then I would like to start paying myself. I know people are like, that's a long ways away, but it's not. And if you just keep going and still keep meeting your targets, even if you don't trade every day, when those good positions hit, then that's when you take those trades and you have a better opportunity of doing well and having less losses, or if not any. I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but like, you can be in a position where you don't have losses. But I don't like saying that too much, because I don't want to make people feel like if they do have a loss, that it's the end of the world. It's not. I've had losses. I'm just very careful, and there's sometimes where I might have a loss because I entered at the right spot, right? But maybe I didn't get out at the right spot, right? And I didn't get all what I needed to get from that trade, right? So you can still get losses. So, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. So I am paying attention a lot to this particular coin for trading, but I'm also keeping track of putting alerts on Bitcoin, putting alerts on XRP, any other coins that I feel like are pretty profitable that I might come across. Like I'm looking at Crow a little bit, but I don't know what's going on with Crow, but I was kind of checking them out a little bit. So let me take this off. But that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment in the comment section and let me know. And like, let's just say it hits. Let me just do one more thing. Let's say it hits in this area, maybe right above, get in above the 50% to the next. See, that's 146% if it can make it back up to this resistance area, right? Once it hits down here, right? So like I look for stuff like that, like, but it could decide it's ready to come out of this, right? It could decide that, and that's when I look for what would be the next support beyond this area, right? And I probably would go ahead and mark that area out. And it looks like it's this right here. This is where we had consolidation and it bounced out of there. And so what I would do is just go in, find the lowest points, which is right here, this candle right here, and draw rectangle. The rectangle is expanded out, and that will be my next support area. Let me see, hit lock, right? That's coming out of here. Now, if it comes out of here, the next resistance would be the 50% level. So if you were to make that's still a great trade, even with it coming out and just waiting for it to hit that next support. But you got to be patient to see if it's really coming out of this, or is it coming out this way? Is it bouncing above it and it's making a higher low or a double bottom, and then it makes a higher low, then it makes another candle, then I feel a little bit safer going in. It doesn't mean it can't go against me, but I'm gonna have a little bit less risk of loss, right? So that's the way I handle, I guess, the risk management of it, and to keep a better profitability. So that will do it for today. I'm sorry it took so long for me to come back. I'm not going to promise I'm going to do it every day. I might. It depends. And, if I got a lot of stuff to do or not, right? So, but this is it. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.